Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to introduce Senior Class Vice President, Ms. Kara Williams.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the graduation ceremony of the class of 2015. Often, this occasion may be perceived as a sad one, but instead, it should be viewed as a start-over button, a chance to end one chapter and begin the next. This time, we are the complete author and illustrator. But not a better time to do so than when surrounded by families, friends, and the community who celebrate with us here today in Bridgeport's high school gym. Through the hugs and the tears and exchanged words, may great joy be found in everyone's heart. Thank you for being here with us today.
Please join me in welcoming this year's salutatorian, Mr. Jason Ametise.
I would like to start by saying thank you to my family, friends, teachers, and coaches for all that they have taught me, especially my sister Kate. She always made fun of me because my mom poured my cereal for me until I started tasting it. She would tell me that life isn't always going to be so easy, and sooner or later, I was going to have to pour my own bowl of cereal, match my clothes, and do other household chores. I didn't listen. I went into junior high a mess, and without the help of other classmates, I might still have toothpaste around my lips, messy hair, and mismatched clothing. Also, my parents used to constantly nag that they could not believe I left my shoes at home again. Or, you had all week to do this, and you're asking me to help now? They have taught me to be responsible, and procrastination is never the answer. However, I still procrastinate among the best of them, Trevor and Dave. Driving our other classmate, Kara Wiggins, up the wall and back down here. Multiple teachers have come to the realization that this is just how we are. Although they have not solved our procrastination habits, they have taught us several valuable life lessons, such as, when working on our 10-page research papers, Mrs. Josie stated, you just have to do it one word at a time. Meaning, if you do the little things daily, the job, or life, isn't so overwhelming in the end. Mr. Craig has told us in Oliver Holmes' quote multiple times, the right to swing your fist ends where the other man's nose begins. Meaning, one person's freedom ends where the next person's freedom begins. What we don't learn in the classroom, we learn from our coaches. Coach Rose, the quote master, once quoted Thomas Jefferson, nothing in the world can stop a man with the right mental attitude from achieving his goal. After experiencing these life lessons, I have come to the realization that the future of our lives are in our hands now. And the future does not just consist of simple tasks. The real world is fast approaching. But we have been prepared by our teachers, our families, and our friends. Graduating from Bridgeport High School has helped us start on our future endeavors. We are now off to become successful doctors, engineers, farmers, and artists. Without further ado, I challenge my fellow classmates to accept your past without regrets, handle the present with confidence, and face the future without fear. Thank you.
It's my privilege to welcome the valedictorian from the class of 2015, Mr. David Paul.
As we gather here today, we celebrate the achievements of our past and step out into our futures. We could have done none of it without you, our parents, families, teachers, coaches, and administration. We cannot thank you enough for leading us to our successes and schooling our failures. Many of you we will not forget because of the things you did for us. First, we will not forget Mr. Ianager, who got us through our activities quickly and safely. Who knew the bus could go so fast? Second, I'd like to say no, Mrs. Schmark. Nobody gets excited when you nap. Only you. When we came into high school, we did not know, nor did we care, what sine, cosine, and tangent were. But now, how can we forget? So, toe. Third, I would like to thank Mrs. Dosey for proving me wrong. Shakespeare really is not that bad after all. Although we were wrong about one thing. Writing 10 pages is actually as bad as it sounds. Fourth, Mr. Craig, you deserve a very big pat on the back for being the only teacher in our 13 years to make us finish an entire textbook. Lastly, Mr. Ashe, we got to do a lot of things throughout high school. But now, you get to shake our hands and let us step out into our future. Congratulations, class of 2015. Mayor, the futures hold great things for us. Thank you.
Today's guest speaker is Mr. James Hawksworth. James was raised on a farm 5 miles west of Bridgeport and graduated from Bridgeport High School in 2000. In high school, he participated in football, wrestling, track, and weight production. James also played tuba in the band his sophomore year, but only so he could go on the band trip to Disneyland. James attended Wheaton College in Wheaton, Illinois, where he participated in football and track while majoring in Christian education. Upon graduating from Wheaton College in 2004, he moved to Phoenix, Arizona, where he taught for 2 years and served as an associate pastor for 8 years in 2 churches in the Phoenix area. James met his wife Sarah on a blind date in 2005. They were married in 2006. They have 3 children: Michael, 13, adopted from Uganda; Molly, 6, and Brady, 3. In 2013, James received his Master's of Divinity degree from Phoenix Seminary. Last summer, James and his family moved to Wilton, Colorado to help begin Bridgeway Community Church. Please join me in welcoming Mr. James Hawksworth.
Well, hello, Bridgeport. Hey, how's it going? Good? I don't know, I'm a preacher, so it's a great privilege for the next hour and 20 minutes to share what I've learned over these last 15 years, right? It's amazing, isn't it? It's unbelievable the amount of change and how much things stay the same, you know? You'll see this. I was you 15 years ago when it was like that. Me and Coach Dean walked down arm in arm together, I think. Maybe we were holding hands, I don't know. We were good buddies. But, we walked down, we sang a very cheesy song about friendship, and it was like that. going to go like that. And to see the season of change, think about this old gym. This is probably the last graduation in here, huh? We're part of something special. Write our names on the floor or something like that. And I remember the first time I came home, I went away to Chicago, to the big city. And I remember the first time I was there in Chicago, walking downtown, which is incredible, magnificent skyscrapers. I'm like, this is a lot taller than the corn silos I grew up with, you know. And I remember it was Thanksgiving, and we came home and pulled into Main Street. Do you guys still do Mainers? They call them Mainers. Bragg, Maine. You guys do that still, where you drive on down endlessly? You know, down Main Street. But I remember we were pulling in at about 1 in the morning from college, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, oh my goodness, this is home. And I remember a famous preacher say one time, you should always remember the pit from which you were dug. Isn't that a great line? You should always remember the pit from which you were dug, because whether for good or for bad, this place has formed you. How many of you grew up, went all the way through Bridgeport? All right? There we go, most of you, right? And this place, this home for you, is what helps form who you are and who you're going to be. And so it's a privilege for me to come and share just a few things. Is that all right? Yeah, I'll be short. Sort of. I love their class motto that the class of 2015 has offered when they said, you cannot discover new oceans unless you have the courage to lose sight of the shore. That's a good motto. I read a recent quote, otherwise it also said, a ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are for. And it's interesting that a good old landlocked state like Nebraska would use oceanic terminology, but we're going to talk a little bit about the ocean, all right? From one farm point to other farm people, farm townsfolk. I want to talk about courage, vision, and a compass and an anchor. All right, have you been to the ocean before? Have you all been to the ocean? Have you ever seen the ocean? Some of you have, some of you probably have not. I remember the first time I saw the ocean, and maybe it was the same for you, but there's this incredible sense of smallness on your part. When you come out and you look at this immense, vast sea, and in some ways it's very freaky, because you just can't see the other side. It's not like going to the old pits, you know what I mean? And then you get out there a little bit, and then you realize, wow, I can't touch the bottom, nor can I see the bottom. And I understand that the deepest part of the ocean is 36,000 feet deep, a mile deeper than Mount Everest. That's incredible. It's scary out there. Or if you've ever flown over the ocean, you think, man, if this plane goes down, there's not going to be much swimming back to shore here. But you cannot discover new things if you don't have the courage to leave the security of the shore. And fear is paralyzing. The old classic movie Braveheart. You see, that's an old one now, too. I'm getting old. Aging myself, I guess. But Braveheart classically says, William Wallace, he says, every man dies, not every man really lives. Samuel Johnson, one of the old English poets and authors, said this about courage. He said, courage is reckoned the greatest of all virtues, because unless a man has that virtue, he has no security for preserving any other. Basically, if you don't have courage, you don't have the guts to live a virtuous life. It takes courage to live the good life. And courage is going to push you out of your comfort zones, and life will require great courage for you. My mentor from college, and I highly suggest this is free advice, get a mentor if you go to college or if you go to, wherever you go from here, get a mentor who will pour into your life. I thought that was so awesome that you do teammates here. But get a mentor and then be a mentor. But my mentor would say, if you're not awkward in some area of your life, you're probably not growing. If you're not awkward in some area of your life, you're probably not growing. And it's going to take courage for you to push out of your comfort zones. Ambrose Redmond once said, courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. To live the adventurous and the virtuous life will require courage. Secondly, This good life will require vision. There was a French dude, I don't know how to say his name, so I won't say it, but he wrote this book called The Little Prince. He said this: if you want to build a ship, don't drum up people to collect wood, and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea. It's not one thing when you view life just merely as going about chore after chore, but to get a big vision for your life. And as they said earlier, commencement, graduation is not an ending. This is a beginning of your life, a movement into adulthood. And my question for you today is, what is the vision for your life? Because we see we often call ourselves human beings, but we often get caught up in becoming human doings. You know what I mean? Can I get an amen for that, brothers and sisters? All right? Man, this is a little weak podium, too. We are human beings, not human doings. And the person that you are becoming is of utmost importance. What kind of mother, what kind of father, what kind of co-worker, what kind of boss, what kind of husband or wife will you become? The person you are becoming gives purpose to your life. Another great, one of my favorite films, came out the year I graduated in 2000, was The Gladiator. Good film. The Maximus, he's ready to call his troops to the war, and he says, "What we do in life echoes in eternity." I love that line. Then he goes and kills a bunch of barbarians, I think. But what you do in life echoes into eternity, and how you live matters. But out of who you are, you do. Human beings, then you. Who are you becoming? And how will you be remembered? I've heard of this old story called, I just simply call it Then What? Whereas we see it's naturally in the course of our life that when we're younger, we kind of live for this desire of appetite, which maybe then moves on to pleasure. And then the old man would say, well, then what? After you've had so much pleasure, then what comes after that? Then the young lad would say, well, I think I'd like a bunch of money. And if I can secure a bunch of money, then I'll be happy. And then the old man would say, well, then what? He says, well, maybe if I have money, then I can have power, and I can have authority. I can really rule my life and be the captain of my own ship. And then I'll have it. And he says, and then what? Then what? To have a fulfilling life will require a great vision for your life. And finally, you'll need on this journey, you'll need courage, you'll need vision, and you'll need a compass, and you'll need an anchor. Because the ocean is scary. You remember that tsunami that hit in 2006, the day after Christmas? Remember that? I think it was December 26, 2006. Listen to this about this tsunami. This freaks me out. The energy released from the on the Earth's surface. So there was this big earthquake underneath Indonesia. And the energy that was released on the Earth's surface only by this earthquake and tsunami was estimated at 26 megatons of TNT. This energy is equivalent to over 1,500 times that of the Hiroshima atomic bomb. 1,500 times stronger than those. The total work done by this earthquake was over 360,000 times more than the epicenter. That was equivalent to 9,600 gigatons of TNT, equivalent to 550 million times that of Hiroshima. That's how big this storm that was created out of this earthquake and this massive tsunami. They said that would take about 370 years of the U.S.'s energy use. That's how much energy was released in the ocean. It's scary. And then that wave traveled between 300 and 600 miles per hour and hit shore, and waves would come in there at 300 to 600 miles an hour that got to 80 to 100 feet. Could you imagine? This said the waves went in over 1.5 miles deep and ended up taking the lives of 228,000. The ocean is scary. Life is scary. It's a scary world out there. And what is going to get you through? When the storms of life, what will get you through? David Brooks, who writes in the New York Times, said this about commencement speeches. Commencement speakers are always telling young people to follow their passions. Be true to yourself. This is a vision of life that begins with self and ends with self. But people on the road to inner light do not find their vocations by asking, what do I want from life? They ask, what is life asking of me? How can I match my intrinsic talents with one of the world's deep needs? As theologian Paul Tillich said, suffering introduces you to yourself and reminds you that you are not the person you thought you were. You will encounter hardship. You'll encounter suffering. And what will get you through? What will be your anchor? There will be hard times. Your kids may grow up and be rebels. Your spouse might abandon you. You might not live to see 21. You will go through great hardship and pain. You could get sick. Who knows? The life is hard out there. But what is going to hold you still when the storms of life come? And what's going to be your compass when you get so disoriented from the storms and you wake up and you don't even know which way is up? It's sort of like getting lost in the Tetons. I remember my sister and I one time went hiking. Not really a hike, it was more of a nature walk, if you will. We were going to walk down to the lake. And have you ever been lost before? At least have a feeling of being lost. You know what I'm talking about? And I had this overwhelming sense of, oh crap, we're going to die in the woods. And as a hungry farm boy, where am I going to get my next meal? You know what I mean? And I remember screaming bloody murder. Dad! Where are you? And about 20 feet away was our campground. You know? It was fair. But what is that compass that you're going to find that's going to get you through the storms of life? That's going to hold you together when you are so disoriented? And like David Brooks said in that book, it's not ultimately going to be found in yourself, because suffering shows that you are not the person you thought you were. As an old preacher man, I find good words from the good book when it says that the love of God is a perfect love that casts out fear. This is a scary world. And what is going to be that anchor of faith that you're going to hold on to that will get you through? My mentor again, Jerry Root, who was one time speaking at high table at Oxford University, a very academic and very pompous type of setting. He was being made fun of because he was a follower of Jesus. And they were asking him, so Jerry, why are you a Christian? And I found his answer helpful, and I want to share this. Jerry said, I'm a Christian because I am aware of my failures and my shortcomings, and the kinds of things that the Bible calls sin in my life. It is the deep recognition that things are broken and need fixing that has driven me to God for forgiveness. Also, it's out of a deep longing to be loved with a love that does not shy away due to my failures that I have sought this in Jesus. I have found the love and forgiveness of God to speak to my deepest need, and I have found the gospel in that regard compelling. I'm not by any means telling you what to believe, but you might want to find an anchor for a compass. The good life is going to require a compass and an anchor. The virtuous and adventurous life will require courage, and the fulfilling life will require vision. So class of 2015, may you have courage. May you have vision. And may you find that anchor and that compass that will get you through the storms that are guaranteed to come ahead. And may the Lord bless you and keep you and cause His face to shine upon you and give you His peace. And with that, I say thank you very much. God bless you.
At this time, the seniors will present flowers to their parents and other special individuals in their lives. Following the presentation, enjoy the slideshow with the graduates and their families. As principal of Bridgeport High School, I certify that all the following students have met the requirements of graduation set forth by the policies of Bridgeport Public Schools and the state of Nebraska. Diplomas will now be presented to the class of 2015 by Board of Education members Mrs. Kay Anderson, and Mr. Justin Clark. Olga Aguilar. Travis John Alberts. Jason Christopher Amatisse. Andrew Nelson Barrett. Peyton Joseph Bowman. Trevor Cole Benavides. Jose Castaño Jueves. Brenda Cuellar Mayaras. Deja Christiane Petrie. Tristan Cody Graber. Megan Dale Dutton. Mitchell Dallin Dutton. Karina Alicia Garza. Caden George Hall. Sarah K. Hansen. Brooke Lee Harding. Amy Jo Pass. Cassidy Renee Hernandez. Taylor Allen Janison. Cassidy May Kildow. Samantha K. Lar. Sierra Dawn Litke. Maria Guadalupe Lopez. Guadalupe Rosoya Bravo. Ethan Allen Marks. Alberto Meyer Velasquez. Luis Meyer Velasquez. Cassidy Ann Mitchell. Lance Brandon Nolte. Katie Sarah Ramos. Keisha Dawn Scarrow. Taylor Marie Scholl. Brooke Leanne Stewart. Geneva Toscano. Ivy Gwen Vasquez. Ty Jacob Weaver. Kara Ellen Wiggins. Will the seniors now stand? Seniors, please turn your tassels. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you. Because of our weather outside, following the recessional, graduates will form a receiving line in the multi-purpose room next door. Easiest access is going to be right around the corner here. Senior Class Vice President, Ms. Carol Wiggins, will now offer some closing comments.
As I stand here, looking out at all of these beautiful faces, I cannot think of any other better way to close this book than prayer. Please bow your heads to pray. Lord, thank you for this day, for all these people you have blessed us with. Please guide not only the class of 2015, but all of us here today to our dreams and goals. May you be with us every step of the way, just as you were with your Son. Please remind us that every day, every hour, and every moment is a chance to start over and be the best we can hope to be, not just today. Lord, I just ask that you be with us always as we step out into the world.